Sometimes when you belong to a system and the system has become invalid, a system which is not reliable, the purpose of the system has been diverted, and this system put pressure on you to do certain things to favor the system. Meanwhile, they themselves are not reliable. The system has become invalid. You are forced to pull out of that system. That's exactly what is happening in the Sahel. For the first time, history is making, lovely people, 3 nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, according to the update here, they have jointly announced their withdrawal from the International Criminal Court, the ICC, not the ICG. We'll get there. They are calling the ICC a bias court, a neo-colonial court, and a weapon used against weaker nations. And to us, lovely people, this is all part of the process of real freedom, the fight for freedom. There's no half freedom. Freedom must be in full. Even if you are being given or you are fighting for it, there's no half freedom. In our dialect in the Volta region, we said, which means that you can't bluntly say that you don't like goat meat. And whenever they prepare goat meat soup or goat soup, then you'll be drinking the soup. But yeah, you don't like goat meat, but while you're drinking the soup. So when you are standing against a particular system or you are pulling out of a particular system, you must do it for once. Whatever decision you are making, be it revolutionary or what, you must do it straightforward. So Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have decided to have their own path completely. Let's dive into this whole story, family. What brought this decision and why Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso all of a sudden have decided to move out of the ICC. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have declared that they are pulling out of the ICC. And currently we know that these are 3 nations under military leadership. The 3 came out, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and in their joint statement, they have accused the ICC of being incapable of handling global crimes fairly. And instead, the ICC, according to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, is being used as a tool of neo-colonial control. This is not according to me, but according to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Many people always mistake the ICC with the ICG. These two play different roles. These are law enforcement institutions that are supposed to make sure that there is peace in the world. These two, ICC and ICG, are supposed to make sure that there is law and order. And these both play different roles, holding nations accountable and holding individuals accountable for peace to reign in the world. You can attest to the fact that we are living in the days where crime rate has become too much, and you ask yourself, is there no rule governing this world? There is actually, just that it has become invalid. Let me explain to you. The ICC was created in 2002. The purpose of the ICC is not to go after countries, but the purpose of the ICC is to try individuals, not countries, but individuals accused of worst crimes, genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, crimes of aggression. Let me give you one example. In 2023, the ICC declared Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, they've issued arrest warrant on him. But on the other side, the ICJ does not go after individuals. They settle dispute between countries, not individuals. Individuals who commit crime will be prosecuted and tried by the ICC, but the ICJ settle, issues between countries. Just like Mali and Algeria recently had border issue where a drone issue came up like that. We'll get down there, you understand. One of their cases even there, that is border dispute, issues between 2 countries. So this is what the ICJ handle. Now the twist of this is that as long as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso are still official members of the ICC, they are legally obligated to respect ICC decisions. That include the arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin issue in 2023 over alleged war crimes in Ukraine. Here is how it works. ICC member states are expected to arrest any person under ICC warrant if that person set foot in their territory. So under normal circumstance, if Putin visits one of those Sahel countries or Sahel states, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, while they are still ICC members, they will be required by the rules to detain him and hand him to the ICC. And these rules affect every member of the ICC. But in reality, politics overrule this law. You and I can attest to the fact that many ICC members have ignored arrest warrants in the past. Let me just put it this way. Even some of the member states, the people who sat down and issued arrest warrant for Putin, if Putin land in their country today, they can't even arrest him. It has happened. We are seeing some. So it's clearly saying that the ICC has become invalid. So the decision of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso to withdraw from the ICC is also a direct rejection of being forced into such situation. So the ICJ together with the ICC, they are based in the same country, Netherlands, same city, but different courts. The ICC has been under criticism for a long time. And this is part of the reason why Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso have decided to pull out. The ICC, created in 2002 to prosecute world worst crimes, genocide, war crimes against humanity. That is the purpose. But in practice, lovely people, African leaders have long accused the ICC of double standards. It is proven that out of the dozen cases that the ICC has handled, the majority have targeted African countries. Meanwhile, crimes committed by powerful nations like the United States or Western allies often go untouched. This is the argument of African leaders and Africans across the continent in regards to the ICC. And there's so many questions surrounding it. The ICC together with the ICJ as law enforcement institutions that are supposed to make sure there is peace in this world, everybody to respect boundaries. Yet we are seeing crimes, war everywhere. People wake up and then invade countries and things going on anyhow. And nobody is in jail or there's no concrete punishment from the ICC or the ICJ. And one of the things is that whenever somebody commits crime, what we see from the ICC is that they will come together and this one will say, we condemn the attack by this person, we condemn the attack by this, we condemn this, and then that's all. And you see it in the news. The ICC condemn the attack of blah, blah, blah. The ICC condemn, that's all it is about. But when it is African countries or African leaders, then you see that this court puts a lot of energy to, chase our leaders, left and right. And this is even the reason why the nickname for the ICC is a court for Africa, not for the world. Because they always champion their energy and power towards Africans. So this has led to many Africans to ask the question, is the ICC truly about justice, or it is another tool of the Western denomination dressed in legal rules? The truth is, we already know that answer, because when George Bush entered Iraq, where was the ICC? These are the questions people are asking. When NATO fired Libya, where was the ICC? Yet African leaders and even democratically elected ones are quickly dragged before this court. And if you think Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso are the first, this is not the first time Africa has challenged the ICC. In 2016, Burundi became the first country to formally withdraw from the ICC. South Africa and Gambia also announced withdrawal recently, but for whatsoever reason, they later reversed their withdrawal. But this time, things are a lot different because 3 countries are living together. It's not like one country is going there. No. 3 under the alliance of Sahel state. And unlike before, these nations, it is clear that they are no longer under Western influence. They have broken ties with France and they are drawing closer to Russia. And I personally don't believe that Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they are going to reverse their decision. Because when they say they are coming out of ECOWAS, they made that decision. We saw it. Many efforts were made by ECOWAS leaders when the president visited them to talk to them to come back to ECOWAS. But they disagreed. They said no, they are gone for good. Now, the issue of the withdrawal from the ICC has attracted a lot of reactions. So far as the conversation about the withdrawal from the ICC is concerned, we have 2 groups. We are divided into 2 groups. Some civil society groups, which we know that they are under, some big great powers. They are being influenced by these powers. They are warning that Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso leaving the ICC may reduce accountability and it could allow the leaders or the armies to commit abuses against the citizens. Oversight. Interestingly, these groups, they accuse Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso of harming civilians during anti-terror campaigns, which is not true. On the other side, lovely people, the group who is in support of the withdrawal from the ICC, their argument is that the ICC has never protected African civilians in any way. So right now there is a call that we as Africans, we should build our own justice system, justice that understands African reality, not Western lectures. Because think of it, do we need to rely on Western control courts to deliver justice? Does it mean we don't have the sense of judgment? That is the question. Does it mean we don't have the sense of judgment to determine that this is wrong, this is right, and then the punishment should go according to how it is? And others have to determine that to us? No, I don't think so. It is time for us to make our own rules and regulations, our own laws to protect us and guide us. What this means is that we need to build Pan-African institutions that reflect our own values, protect our people, and punish real criminals. Now, one of the things you need to understand is that withdrawal from the ICC is not immediate. Under the international law, according to research here, it takes 1 year after notifying the UN Secretary General that you want to withdraw. Until then, ongoing ICC investigations remain valid until they have confirmed your withdrawal. Now, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have announced something very interesting. They have announced that they are going to set up indigenous mechanism for peace and justice. Now, the question is, the whole thing is not clear. Is this going to mean a Sahel court? We don't know what it is, what this mechanism will be. But the truth is that if Africa wants true independence, then we must take responsibility for justice on our soil. The dream of Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, and Patrice Lumumba was not just about politics, it was also about institutions. So you ask yourself, why can't we as Africans create our own continental court? Today, the ICC has over 120 members. So the exit of these three countries at once is a serious blow to the legitimacy of the ICC. To me, lovely people, this movement is bigger than the ICC. It is about Africa deciding whether we are still under new colonial control or whether we will build institutions that serve our people, not the West. If the Sahel succeed in creating fair, credible justice system, this is going to inspire the entire continent. That is a fact. So Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they have drawn the line in the sand. They are rejecting what they see as Western control, justice, and moving towards African solution. But as we always do it, lovely people, let me leave it here. Let me know your thought in the comment. What do you think about this withdrawal? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right. Respect.